y'all, what's going on? My phone is gonna go dead because something's going on. So yesterday when I was talking, my phone went dead, but it got enough juice until I make it where I need to make it to. So I was thinking about this today, right? What is a husband? So y'all know I went to work today, and one of the fellas or whatever was saying like he's not, I guess he's infatuated with this woman, right? Not really infatuated, he just made a comment like, oh, I'm in love with her. And I looked at her like, that's a married woman, that's somebody else's wife. You can't be thinking that way. He said, it's not like I did anything and tried to get her number or whatever like that. I said, yeah, but that's still a sin to be thinking about somebody else's wife. I said, don't worry, one day you'll get married and have your own wife, and you're not going to want anyone else to be lusting after your wife, you know. So I was just sitting up here thinking while I was driving down the road, like, you know, the difference. Yeah, you know, like, what is a husband? Leave your comments. Tell me, what is a husband? You know, a husband is it just a title of saying that you're, you know, some people who don't want to get married or don't care for marriage would say that means you're stuck. But husband is a title to what you are now. You are somebody's husband. You belong to that person. But there's other things that come with that position. You are now, you have a family. You are taking care of your wife. You have a wife. You are obligated till death do you part with that other person. Y'all tell me, what do y'all think? Put down your comments. Tell me, what is a husband? What is a husband? What is a wife? You know? And is it so, do you think that it's overrated, the title? You know? Or do you think that it really has way, how can I say it? I mean, I'm just in thought about it. Do you think that it really has a lot? I think the title itself, it really is, it's greater than what a lot of people think. A wife and a husband. That title is very great. Because even when you hear when someone says, my ex-wife or my ex-husband, it's totally different than saying my ex-girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Or my ex-boyfriend. I mean, that the title is big. So when you hear my husband, you know, like for instance, when, you know, in my business, you know, I may hear a woman say, that's my husband. Bottom line, you can't make no decisions unless you say, yeah, okay, we're cool. Or when I hear things like, well, I have to check with my wife. Bottom line, you can't make no decisions until she says yes. So I'll be like, yeah, bring your wife. Bring your wife. Yeah, bring her on and see what she says about this. I'm like, yeah, now I know who the boss is. You tell me, what do you think the title of a husband and a wife, like, what do you think, what is a husband? Like, when the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about husband, what's the first thing you think about? When I think of husband and somebody says husband, I think protector, provider, and that's who, I know this may sound kind of whatever, but as a wife, that's who rules over her, is her husband. You see what I'm saying? Some people be like, and some of y'all like, you right, Mona, you absolutely right. You see what I'm saying? So what is a husband? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a husband. What is a wife? Your other half. The one that you make moves with, the one that you're obligated to, the only one that you care about. That's what that, like, you know what I'm saying? What is a somebody you are? And I'm going to tell you something else too. And I know this may sound like whatever, but that ring, when you see a ring on somebody's hand, that ring means something too. It's not just it's not just oh, a piece of jewelry. You know, I know some people say, well, you know, rings or whatever. Nah, honey, nah, because I'm gonna tell you why I say that. So today, you know, it was this Irish day or whatever. You know, I don't know, everybody giving out the green beans, and we giving out beverages like, yeah, you want some beer and stuff like that. And I went to hand a gentleman this beer, right? And when I went to hand him that, I looked at his ring. And the first thing I thought was his wife. You see what I'm saying? That ring has huge significance. Huge significance. Not that I was sitting up here thinking of lusting after this guy. Totally not the case at all. And he was very nice. And, I'm like, okay, well, enjoy. Oh, you don't want to come and stay? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Enjoy. I'm thinking to myself, not that we would be chilling or anything, when I'm thinking anything above that. But that ring was like, bling, like, that person is married. So even when you look at a woman, a wife, and you see that ring, it's like a fence. That's what it is. It's a fence. It's a freaking fence. Like, and I can laugh at it, but I'm talking about to those people, you better know better. The ring gives you warning, like, step away from the car. But anywho, so what is a husband? Like, what's the first thing that comes through your mind when you say a husband? The first thing that comes through my mind is that he is obligated and he has responsibilities until the day he dies to protect and honor the one that he marries and loves and cherishes. And that he is honoring that by being married, or whether he's carrying out, whether wearing a ring or just whatever. That is a husband. That is a husband, someone who loves his wife. So, hey, y'all, hey. So you tell me what you think. What do you think? What is a husband? The household, the husband is the head of the household. He sure is. He sure is. He's the alpha male. Daggone it. And a lot of people, I don't know about this new age stuff or whatever like that, but a lot of people, I think that's what messes up a lot of things, is that you have two people that are trying to be the head, but the head, he's the lead. He's the lead in it. Hello, beautiful. You are so right. Thank you. He's the lead in it. You can't do nothing without your husband, He's the lead in it. That's his wife. He's a protector. He's a provider. And he'll go out and do it with no problem whatsoever. Like, it's just natural to him. You know what I mean? And so when you think about that, when you think about the title, and so when I was talking to my folks, I was like, you can't be sitting up here lusting after someone else's wife. And he said, but I didn't do anything. But still, that's a sin of his own when you think like, ooh, because you got a lot of people out here with that mind frame. You can see somebody like, ooh, he married. Okay. Congratulations to her. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. And like, that's how I look at it. If I see the hubby covers the wife spiritually, physically, emotionally, and financially. Yes. And the wife covers him spiritually as well. You see what I'm saying? And all the things that she said. I mean, if he falls, then she's there to pick him up. You know what I'm saying? And she carries his air too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's one of those things where they are a team. They are a unit together. You know what I mean? But I was thinking to myself, what is it? So like yesterday, the day before yesterday, when I was trying to speak to y'all about that lady that is just in distraught because her husband is dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is oh Lord, this is not just a man that's passing away. This is her husband. This is her covering. This is her protector. This is the one that she looks up to. You see what I'm saying? Like, when he goes, that is gone. And the Lord says, till death do you part. It is about to part ways with her. You see what I'm saying? She's about to go through an emotional, spiritual, trying time that could be very detrimental to her health. That's why they say a lot of people, when their significant others pass away, when their husband or their wife pass away, sometimes the rate is very high for them to die off too, because the hurt and the pain of that person being gone. That's why it is true, scientifically, medically, it is true that people die from a broken heart. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at that, you know, I started thinking like, you know, I didn't have, like with my ex-husband, you know, we didn't have all of those years vested, but I understood just the teensy bit of what she went through because of how detrimental my divorce was. But it's like, dang, you about to lose somebody that you've been with for 35 years. You see what I'm saying? 35 years. And I want to say so bad to her, you know what? That's a blessing in itself. Because this is how marriages are supposed to end. Till death do you part. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it's better than a divorce do you part. I was thinking to myself while I was driving, my husband divorced me. My ex-husband he gave me the boot. He got rid of me with the quickness, man. And I could have almost, and it did. You know, I'm not going to say it messed with my ego, but it kind of made me feel like, dang, you know, I felt like the Grinch. I started watching your channel. I'm sorry, I can't. I have to pull over and look at it. I started thinking, remember the Grinch stole Christmas? And he was like, why are they singing? What's really going on? That's how I was thinking, like, did he really just put me away? Did he really just file for a divorce? Did he really just give me the boot? And I wanted to tell the lady, look, at least your husband is passing away. You know, I know that don't sound right, but at least he didn't give you a divorce. Because rejection is a mug, especially when he just said, I'm putting you away. You know, it's not cool either that your husband is dying. Nobody wants that. But she had the most awesomest things to say about her husband. That he gave her and her daughter a great life. He was awesome. He was excellent. He loved her. And I'm like, man, he sound wonderful. He sound like a husband. He sound like a good husband on that. You know what I'm saying? He even had his last request to her, like, you just kill me. She was like, oh, please don't ask me to do that, please. You know, but I could just see, like, that was her boo. That was her boo. And it don't matter if you black or white. I mean, this is a white woman who is spilling out all her older woman on that. And I've seen black women who been with their husbands for freaking 50 years and they pass on. And they just still here, like, waiting. I lost my mom last year. I learned from that everyone in life is going to leave, willingly and unwillingly. The only one that won't leave you is God. Amen to that. But the cool thing about that, when you do leave, when you save, you know it doesn't end there. You know it doesn't end there. But it's one of those things where it's like it's a bittersweet. It's sweet. And I told her, just enjoy your husband now. Just make him as comfortable as he is before he passes on. You know, and keep on praying. You never know. Keep on praying. Pray to the last drop. And when I got my divorce, when my husband gave me the boot at the top of his shiny boot, the metal boot, I prayed to the last end. I did. I said, Lord, if you could stop this, please. I did. I mean, I'm laughing about it, but I was like, Father, you control the king's heart. Can you please control my king's heart? I did that. I prayed. I know people be like, girl, you crazy. I did that. I prayed. I really did. Because, you know, it's a life altering change. In my situation, it was a divorce. And her situation is death. You know, it's death. And she doesn't know what she's going to do. She's like, I don't know if he's going to live. And I'm like, you know what? Enjoy him right now. When my daughter, y'all already know when I went through my losses. When my second loss with Harmony, which is my third loss, when they told me, when my water broke and she was still in me, I knew my baby was going to die. And I didn't know what to do. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to enjoy her while she's in me now. And when I had to push her out, and I know this may sound too much for people, my child was only 20 weeks, less than a pound, And I kissed her and I cried and kept kissing her and kissing her. And I kept saying, Mommy, so sorry. But I wanted to capture that moment and hold her and kiss her until she passed on to be with the Lord. That let me realize that life is very fragile. Life is very fragile. But what you have right here, enjoy it now. Even if it's not even in the right circumstances. You know, even if it's not in the right, make them, and I said, make them comfortable. Talk to them. This is why we must put God first before anything. Everyone, God will bring you through. Of course, I learned that. That's why we must put Him first. Even through the hurt and the pain, because sometimes we can get so frustrated and not understand, why is this happening? Why am I losing my husband? Or why am I losing my wife? Or why am I losing my children, my job, my finances? Why? But when we put God first, then everything makes sense. Nothing here is perfect. You know, we got good days, and sometimes we want to have some suck days. Sometimes we want to have, I can't believe these days. You know what I'm saying? I was hurt when I saw your video. I have to read it. I've had, when I look back at all of the stuff I went through, I've had some crazy stuff, man. Some stuff when I was young, I would have never thought that would have happened to me. I mean, I thought that, you know, when you watch other women carry babies like it's nothing, pop out babies like they popping Skittles, you thinking, oh, this is easy. This is a piece of cake. And I remember the first time me and my ex-husband, my husband at the time, when we went to go hear the heartbeat of our baby, at 10 weeks, you know, after looking at all of these videos of the baby moving around, and when we went, it was nothing. It was like, I'm like waiting to see, why is the baby not moving? And the lady was like, you guys, something is wrong. I'm, what's wrong? And she said, I don't think that, I think that the baby didn't live. I started screaming and crying, and I had no idea that from there I was going to have not only a miscarriage that ended up in the DNC, 2 second trimester losses, and then at the end I was going to lose my husband. I had no idea. No idea. But, you know, life can bring you certain things. But getting back to what I was saying, what is a husband? A husband is, to me, when I think about a husband, I think about a protector. A protector, a provider. I think about that. When me and my ex-husband, when we were in good terms, he used to say things. He used to say things, and I look back and I laugh at it. But when I was not doing something or disagreeing, he'd be like, I am your husband. I am your husband, and I'd be like, but he was right. I'd be like, you know, it's cool. And I like that too. Like when you're married, you know, like certain things, a husband may be like, my wife deals with that. I'm not gonna worry about that. Or as a wife, my husband, he deals with it. I'm not gonna trip off of that. I saw this story where it was a tornado and the house was all over the place. The wife survived, and the way she survived, her husband took her and shielded her. He got knocked all over, hit with bricks and all this other stuff, and he shielded his wife. He died and she lived. And she was like, that's my hero. She, you know, she's crying, she lost her husband, but to his last breath, he protected his wife. And so when I think of what is a husband, that's what I think of. You know, not someone who's just, you know, just a protector, as well as a provider. Someone that's going to tell you what's right and tell you what's wrong too. Like, even the time when I was married, my ex-husband, he'll let me know when I was wrong. Babe, you know you were wrong. And he'll break it down, and I'll be like, feeling all bad and stuff. But I understood it though. You know what I'm saying? Or someone that's not quick. And that's one thing I did love when I was in a marriage, because he wouldn't be quick to judge me. And if I had a question, and to some people it may have been a stupid question, but to him no question was a stupid question. So he broke it down to me, and I was like, wow. I looked up to him. I really looked up to him like, this is the smartest man I have ever known. And I felt very protected by him. And at that time, I thought that he was a very good provider. He was when we were married. You know what I'm saying? So when I think about a husband, that's what I thought. I thought that that's how husbands were. I really did. And so when my nightmare came upon, I kind of thought this is all a facade. But when that lady came, she reminded me that yes, their husbands have, and they do carry the torch. They do carry that name. You know, you have some men on here that are married. Your wives look up to you. Your children look up to you. Because a lot of people don't carry that position. Just like a lot of people don't carry CEO position or whatever. But to be honest with you, forget CEO. That husband position, the name the husband, it overrules CEO. You could be a CEO and don't got a wife, or, you know, just forgot your obligations. But it takes a good husband to stick it in and to take care of their wives and love their wives unconditionally. You see what I'm saying? And not only does he say, you know what, she get on my nerves today. Sometimes I can't stand her, but that's my wife. That's my wife. That's my other half. I promised God. I didn't just promise her. I told the Lord, look, Lord, I promise if you give me this woman as my wife, I'm going to have her. I'm going to take care of her. I'm going to provide for her. And I'm not going to do her wrong, Lord. You can trust me with this. You can hold me accountable for that. That is a husband. That is a husband. I don't care what anybody say. That's a husband. That's a husband. When you know as a wife, something go down, that's okay. I'm going to tell my husband, watch. I'm going to tell him. You know, when he come in, your husband's home. You know what I'm saying? Things are okay. Your husband's home. When you get afraid of certain things and you start whatever, your husband's home. You know what I'm saying? Like it's way more than just that husband, the word husband. It comes with way more authority than that. And so y'all tell me what y'all think. I mean, some of y'all may be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, what a husband is. I mean, heck, even the ones who did me wrong, like my in-laws and brother-in-law and all this other stuff, they're husbands. They are husbands. They are married. You see what I'm saying? So their obligations of taking care of their household. You know what I'm saying? That is a God-fearing husband. He stands in his position. Absolutely, and he won't move. You can't shake him. You can't talk smack about his wife either. And you can't touch his wife either. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something too. And I was talking to my coworker about a husband who finds out that his wife is cheating on him. And the Bible talks about it in such a way that it's like as if that man don't even forgive. Like he don't want nobody to touch his wife. That's his. You know what I'm saying? Like men are not forgiving like maybe a wife may be. I mean, some may forgive you. I mean, I guess it depends on the situation, but it's one of those things where the authority of a husband, you know, and as a wife, when you respect that and know his position and not trying to overrule his position, there's this thing called the king and the queen, the husband and the wife. There is not the queen and the king. No, that doesn't work. No, it's the king and the queen, the husband and the wife. The husband covers the wife. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of authority that comes with that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of authority. And that's why you hear wives be like, oh, that's my husband. You know, my husband said this, my husband said this, my husband, 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 my husband. They're so proud and they're so happy and they're so privileged to say, my husband. They're so honored. You know what I mean? They're so honored. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean, right? Look, I had a flashback. I was very honored. I was very honored. And I was very proud, too. I was very proud. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with respecting your husband and letting the world know, that's my husband. Yeah, I'm going to go home and make sure that things are right for my husband. Make sure that the house is nice and neat for my husband. Matter of fact, I went here today and I bought my husband. Oh, also, too, yeah, I had to send this out for my husband. I'm going to make sure he gets this job by sending him a resume because it's my husband. I'm going to make sure I did this because it's my husband. Ha, 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 husband. There's nothing wrong with that. The world will try to tell you, girl, you ain't going to do it for your husband. But I'm telling you that you're obligated to do that. And as a husband for your wife. One of my other co-workers said it used to be that, you know, men went out and they, you know, they provided. A lot of people in marriages were not taught what marriage is. And that's why it is not even just that. It's that in this day, that is true. But it's also, too, in this day and age, we're living in men should be lovers of themselves. This is what's happening in the last days when everyone is for self. You know, they figured this didn't work, so I'm going to start over. And I think I told y'all before that if statistically, if they're saying that 50% of marriages, 50% of marriages end in divorce. So you have 10 people and 5 of them just ended in divorce. Now they're out here on the scene with mixing with single people. And then you get remarried again and you're ending in the divorces. This one wasn't supposed to be connected with this one, that one. You feel obligations. We become a society who does not hold everybody accountable anymore because it's just like anything goes. And it's just like the real thing is not more important because you can get it any way you want. I even started thinking about that, about the diamond, right? A real diamond, how you used to be able to go out and if you get a real diamond, a huge rock, you paying a good penny for it. But now they make these man-made diamonds that are just the same, but it's man-made. So why do I care about paying $20,000 for the real thing when I can get one that will look like it? The difference is that the real thing is the real thing. So marriage between a man and a woman, it's a real thing. You see what I'm saying? Till death do you part. That is a line that it is supposed to do. So when I heard the lady speak to me saying that her husband is dying after 35 years of being with him, that is how marriage is intended to end if her marriage ends that way. It is not designed, just like the late Miles Monroe said, it is not designed for divorce. It's not. The husband has an obligation as much as the wife does. And with that, their union is designed by God. You see what I'm saying? Jesus said for husbands to love your wives as Christ loved the church, and the wives to be submissive unto their husbands. Wives, you are supposed to respect your husband. You're not supposed to back talk him, talk smash about him. Although, you know, when I was going through my stuff, I was a little upset with mine. But you're not supposed to be talking smack to your husband. You're not supposed to be talking back. You're supposed to respect him that when he walked through the door, you know what I'm saying? He already got to deal with the worries of the world. At least he know when I come home, my wife got me. At least he know that my supervisor gave me hell. My employees gave me hell. Everybody's against me. I'm praying, but my wife is praying too. But when I come home, she's rubbing my feet. She's cooking my food. She's got me. She's just basically like, baby, man, forget all of them. I used to be pissed when my husband would come home and somebody gave him beef. I'd be ready to run somebody over. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If your husband ain't happy, you ain't happy. So you making sure he comfortable. And it's the same thing with your wife. You all upset. Your husband come home like, why is my wife upset because of what? Who said what? You know what I'm saying? I remember I was getting all of these issues at my job, and my husband was like, quit it. Or when I was dealing with the stuff with one of the owners that I still work for, he like, if I hear Slim say one word, I'm going to get on that phone and I'm going to curse him out and you won't be working for him no more. I was like, okay. Try to put the phone down so you won't hear these. But you didn't say that's a husband. He's a provider. He's a provider. But anyway, y'all, that's what I think a husband is. A husband is... He's just, and even if he can't get out there to physically work, but he just loves his wife. I got a friend who, she takes care of her husband because he's mentally, he had a mental breakdown, and she says, my husband, even in his ways, she still respects him. She protects him too. Got a lot of people that's ready to put him in a straitjacket, and she's still like, nah, holding it down. That's a real wife. Because you got a lot of women, girl, I don't know, he done went crazy and I can't do this. But that's a husband, y'all. That's a husband. I remember my ex-husband, when my in-laws was like, we don't think you should name her Symphony. People are going to start calling her Phony. He was like, baby, I got this. I ain't have to say nothing. He said, these my kids. I can name them what I want to name them. I was like, get it, Bo? Nah, but y'all know what I mean. Sorry, y'all. Y'all see me over here with the Vaseline. Is this a stain on my... Anyway, y'all, be good to your husbands. And be good to your wives. Because husbands, they cook your food, right? I'm telling you, things, and you do that, you going to grow old together. And it's going to be there's nothing but, I know with that lady that she's dealing with hurt and pain, but that's how it's supposed to be. To see your husband comfortable, and when he goes out, to be with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to end in a tragic divorce. So even when I look at her, I'm not jealous, I don't envy, but I'm like, dang, I wish I would have had something like that. 35 years under my belt. Husband, saw him at his great height, you know what I'm saying? Saw him do all of these things and was there along the way. I don't know. I don't know what you just said, sis. I gotta go back. I wish I can hit this. He says, this is God for the husband. He said, a lot of people in marriages were not told women. Yeah, my dad tries to down talk my hubby because my dad is not happy in himself. Well, guess what? Your husband rules, What does the Bible say? It doesn't matter if the in-laws try to down talk it. Once you leave mommy and daddy and you cling on to him, y'all become on one unit. So when he down talks your hubby, he's down talking you. Same thing with any in-law that tries to down talk your wife or your husband. You're down talking them because they're down talking pretty much you. Because in the spiritual realm, when y'all get married, it's like clack, 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 clack. You do become one. Like Jesus wasn't lying when he said that. You become one. Y'all, can I keep it real? Nah, that's for another video. But yeah, a husband is someone that protects you and loves you unconditionally. Someone that's going to fight for what's his, and that's not going to allow anyone to dictate how to do. Most people who's not helping with their sales, they are going to talk about your significant other. That's why, fellas, be very careful who whispered in your ear about your wife. Whether it be a mama-in-law or some hood rat woman, be very careful. Your wife knows your strengths and she knows your weaknesses. Your wife knows when you got dirty drawers on the ground and she picking them up and cleaning them. She knows your stuff, and she done smelled your stuff. And don't let somebody whisper in your ear, like I said in the past. I've seen men leave their wives because another woman is telling them to do so. Now remember in the Bible, Samson, Samson was stronger than a mug, and his strength lied in his hair. And so he told somebody, oh yeah, my strength came from my hair. They chopped his hair off and did him dirty. You see what I'm saying? And that's why they say that a good man, the way you are, yes, it is by God, but he put that helper right there to help you. And if you're not doing right by your wife, then how you think you're going to be blessed? If you're not doing right by your husband, how are you going to be blessed? You know what I'm saying? God blesses a marriage. I say this all the time. He bless. It's so awesome when I hear one of my co-workers, she talks so highly about her husband. She even talks highly about her in-laws. And I'm like, oh, she going to dinner with her in-laws and stuff. And I remember we used to do certain things like that, and you feel a certain way as a husband and a wife when you go out and you walk in and you just like, that's my husband, that's my wife. Y'all just like, ching, 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 ching. Jing, 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 jing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need some theme music like, oh, look at the husband and the wife right there. What's that, partner? Oh, look at the missus. Y'all looking fly. Do it, y'all, because I'm trying to tell you from someone else's point of view. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. A husband is a provider, someone that's going to love their wife. And a wife, not only is she his mate, his helper, his other half, but she is the jewels upon his crown. She make him shine, honey. She make him look like, what? It is. My husband used to be like, people like, how do you dress like that? Who does it? I'd be like, his wife. Them brand new shoes. You know what I'm saying? Them Burberry shirts, that cologne. His wife, that fresh cut, y'all keep it up though. But anyway, y'all have a great day. Let me get in here so I can see my Symphies.